Welcome to Shekinah Glory Creations channel. I'm going to jump right into learning to deal with the loss of a loved one. Recently, December 2023, I lost my father due to an illness, and it was not the most easiest thing, and nobody can actually prepare you for losing a loved one. What I can say that I learned in this process is mainly my relationship with my father was a love relationship because he's my first love. When I first was born, he was my first love. And as he got older and as I matured, our relationship was very, very much close. We used to talk to each other every other day, or at least every 3 days minimum, before he became ill. And I was partially a caregiver, and I was dealing with all his dealings in that time frame. I appointed someone to be the most closest caregiver to him in our home that we shared. And I gotta say that prior to me going to see him for the last time, I asked my pastor, woman pastor, to pray for me. I asked a dearest friend to also pray for me, and an acquaintance to pray for me, all within my same church. And I gotta say that while I went to see my father for the last time, I felt the prayer. One thing that I actually learned was when I had to make a decision, aside that I've prayed and I had people praying for me, one main thing that I also learned when I had to make a decision that would impact me, would impact my siblings, would impact my dad's siblings, and will impact the family, was to definitely, aside from seeking God in prayer, worshiping. I had a conversation with my dad's pastor, and I told him the different type of things that were happening, and I had to make a decision. I'm not going to share the decision, it's personal, but he told me, after you've prayed, just worship God. And I at first was like, wow, would I have to make a decision? And I prayed up. I'm praying. I have prayed. I have some people praying for me, but I still have to make a decision. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be obedient. There's a reason why God put people in our lives. There's a reason why I went to this pastor, and he told me this because it came from his heart to let me know. And I literally worshiped and worshiped and worshiped. And as I was worshiping, I had to visit my dad in the hospital. And I went there twice a day. I walked to his hospital. He's overseas. So I walked because I live close enough to the hospital to walk 20 minutes, I'll be in the hospital. And I walked 20 minutes in the morning to go and see him. I was prayed up before I went to see him. I prayed for him there. I sang to him. I told him that I love him, that we all loved him, and all his grandchildren loved him. And I sang to him. And then I went back at night, and I also prayed with one of my brothers through WhatsApp, because he was in the States and I was overseas. So we prayed together, we sang, we told him that we loved him, and we kept on doing that and also worshiping. And so when I went back home, I also worshiped. So after some time after worshiping, as the days passed and I spoke to my siblings and my dad's siblings, then I had to make a decision, and I felt more at peace to make the decision. So What I'm trying to tell you is that if you have a relationship with God, or if you have a relationship with your universe or your God, whatever it is, but I'm speaking about me personally, I believe in Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So I'm speaking about Jesus here. And so if you believe in God and having you have a relationship, if you've done the best in building up your relationship with God, after you prayed all that you can pray, by worshiping, it leads you and it guides you to give you the peace that you need to make that decision. That's something that helped me, and it helped me in many different ways. That's one thing that I learned. I prayed, I worshiped, and the worship guided me to make a more precise decision. After that, I felt pretty much at peace that the decision that was made was the best decision for one, for my dad, for myself, for my siblings, and for everybody that loved him. And even though that I knew that I would not see my loved one anymore, but I know that he will be going to a better place and he will be resting in that place. So that's one thing that I wanted to share with you all. Also, aside from that, this is a feeling that may never leave. This is a feeling for me to embrace, and I have been embracing, even though it's very, very much current. I'm embracing how I feel. There's times that I felt to cry and I cry. There's times that I wake up in the morning and I miss him. And that is okay. That is healthy. That is okay. And I just wanted to share that with you all, that if you're going through the loss of a loved one, the best thing that you can do for yourself, for your mind, for your soul, for your spirit, is to embrace that feeling, sit on it, but don't sit on it too long. And as you go along in your life, you feel empty. Yes, you do. But aside from that, as the days pass and as you pray over yourself, little by little, that empty feeling, you won't even feel it anymore. But I still do miss him. And whenever I catch myself missing him, I say a prayer. Or I also say, I love you wherever you are. You live within me because I am a part of you. And I love you and I will forever love you. And I say quick prayers or quick sayings, or I talk to myself, but I know that I'm talking to my Father. So I wanted to share that with you. And I hope that this helps someone out there. And if you have any questions, DM me. Put them on the message. I hope that this helps someone to learn to deal with the loss of their loved one. You have an amazing day.